back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about the movie The Trial of the Chicago 7. This movie was written and directed by Aaron Sorkin. That's the same dude that wrote the screenplay for the movie A Few Good Men. You've probably seen that one. Several actors in this movie that I have heard of and not actually seen in a movie. Then there's also the few that I have seen in other movies. Nothing tremendously huge. Biggest name is probably going to be Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a prosecutor in this movie during the trial here. Also Frank Langella. You've probably the main role I think of when I see this dude, I'm pretty sure he played Skeletor in the Masters of the Universe movie that came out back in the 80s. I'm pretty sure that's him. I'm gonna fact check and I'll put it down on the bottom if it actually was him. If I'm wrong, then completely ignore me, okay? One of the great qualities that this movie has is at the beginning, the introduction of the main characters. It does this montage where you are introduced to a character. They have about 2 minutes. It's got a few characters. They're talking to each other during each scene. But these characters, and I'm probably explaining this really crappily, but this is how it is. This is the best I can do, okay? These characters are talking to one another. You know, it's two guys talking to one another. And then at the very end, when it gets ready to introduce the next character about 2 minutes or so later, the person that it introduces next actually finishes the sentence of the person that came just before it. It was a really neat way to introduce you to all of the main characters at the beginning of the movie. I really appreciated what they did with it. It gave me an idea of who these characters were and kind of sort of let you know what to expect from them as the movie goes on. Not all movies do that. Hell, some movies, you know, when I reviewed The Devil All the Time, it didn't even introduce one of the main characters until like 40 minutes into the movie. This one does a really good job of introducing you to all the characters, lets you know kind of what's going on with the plot, and then you know, it just does a really good job doing this here. Now, one of the things about this movie is it is based on historical events that happened in Chicago back in 1968 and 1969. During the Democratic National Convention back in '68, there was a whole group of people, and basically there were riots on the streets of Chicago. You know, you had your hippies, everyone that wanted to end the Vietnam War, basically just a big giant fight that broke out with the police. A lot of people said the police were the ones that instigated these fights and riots. A lot of people say that it was all the people that traveled there from out of state. Either way you look at it, it happened, okay? And the Chicago 7 are your main characters in the story, but now it cuts to a year later in 1969 when they're in court and they're being held on trial? For trial? Either way, they are on trial. There you go. Let's go with that one. They're on trial for basically being the masterminds behind these riots that happened the year prior during the Democratic National Convention. And what this movie does is during the trial, when there are witnesses up on the stand, they're providing testimony about the events that happened, and that's where you get kind of the backstory of what happened. You know, when the movie starts, it introduces the characters, and then bam, they're in court. You're like, okay, well, what exactly happened when they all went to Chicago? Well, you find that out as the witnesses are giving testimony, and you're looking at these kind of flashbacks. It's really done extremely well. As the story progresses, there's not anything in here that's going to leave you confused and make you think, well, why the hell are they referring to this? If they, in the one or two instances where they do that, they go back really fast, almost immediately, and show you what it was that is going on pertaining to the story as far as the testimony that's being given. While I was watching this movie, I found myself chuckling and laughing at the jokes throughout the entire movie. There's this pessimistic humor that Aaron Sorkin injected into the script when he wrote this screenplay, that all of the characters kind of have this pessimism about themselves, or they're pessimistic about the events that are going on. Obviously, these 7 guys are being held on trial. It's actually starts off as 8, but I'm not going to ruin that portion of the movie for you to find out why it leads to 7. But there is this pessimistic humor that these characters are exhibiting, and I find myself just throughout the entire movie, from start to finish, every few minutes I'm chuckling at something. And ultimately, the reason they are so pessimistic and have this humor is because this trial that's going on, for lack of a better way to put it, it is a flipping circus. Okay, these guys that are being held on trial, nothing is working in their favor. From the judge, who is played brilliantly by Frank Langella, and I don't know if I'm saying that wrong or right or wrong. Sorry, Frank, if I'm screwing up your last name, don't sue me. Either way, he plays this judge brilliantly, to where as you're watching this movie, regardless of if you agree with what's going on in the trial, you eventually learn to hate this judge. He's making all kinds of decisions that are not working in the favor of the defense. You know, judges, at least in my opinion, are supposed to kind of be impartial to what's going on. This dude literally is quite possibly the worst movie judge that I have ever seen. And if this is the way the guy behaved in real life, wow, that's all I can really say about that. From a lot of your leads in the movie, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like I said earlier, he's probably one of the bigger names you've seen recently. He really doesn't do anything special in this movie. Eddie Redmayne, I've never really seen him in a movie. I know he's in the Fantastic Beasts movie, the kind of Harry Potter spin-offs. I've not watched any of those. I don't think I've ever seen him in a movie. I just kind of know of the name. Sacha Baron Cohen, who is the guy that plays Borat. You know Borat. I think they've released a sequel to Borat that is on Amazon Prime right now. This guy plays Abby Hoffman in the movie, and the judge, his name is Julius Hoffman. And there's actually just kind of a running joke throughout the movie, like I told you about that pessimistic humor about the judge stops at one point during the trial. He halts the entire introduction when the jurors are first brought out, and make sure that they know that he is not related to Abby Hoffman, who is on trial. And Sacha Baron Cohen plays this guy phenomenally. Okay, this is the character in the movie that when it is completely over, you are going to remember this guy, this hippie with way more hair than I've got. It's I don't know if they permed their hair back in the days. I don't have the slightest idea. He's got some of the best jokes and obviously the most memorable scenes. All in all, this was a great movie. I recommend that if you like court movies, go and watch this. This is not a movie that is boring at any point during the whole thing. I found myself during the entire movie completely engaged. It had great pace. It moved you on. Everything it did moved the storyline forward. Overall, just a great movie. I recommend you go watch it. I was trying to even think of some bad things to say about it, and really, I can't think of any. There's nothing in this movie that I saw that was underwhelming at all. All right, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and slam that like button. Let me know if you like the content, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.